America is a world in which black people don't do the best things. Black people are not expected to do the best things. And in the few cases when they do, it's a thing of surprise. And I remember finding it quite silly because I'd come from Nigeria and I thought, surely he knows Nigerians are all brilliant, right? My hair as it is now, most people would look at me and think, what the? I think people do make judgments about hair, and I think particularly for women, and particularly for black women. I think, because the world is this incredibly globalized place, and what we define as beauty has become so homogenized, it's become one thing, really. And so for many black women, beauty has become, you have to look like Beyonce. And when you choose not to, then it becomes strange. And when you choose to wear your hair the way it grows from your head, it becomes a political statement, when often it isn't. I didn't think of myself as black when I was in Nigeria. I didn't need to. So we identify on the basis of ethnicity, on religion, but not race, because we don't need to. And I think it would be different if I were from South Africa, maybe even Kenya, but Nigeria, no. And when I went to the US, it was a very strange thing, because it's one thing to know intellectually that there's race in America, and I had seen Roots and that sort of thing. But it's quite another to sit in a class, and the professor comes in, and he has a pile of papers. It's the first essay we've written for the class. And he says, this is the best essay, and I want to know who wrote it. And he calls my name. And I raised my hand, and on his face, I saw surprise. And it was a very small, fleeting moment. But it was a moment where I realized that for him, it was surprising that a black person had written the best essay. America is a world in which black people don't do the best things. Black people are not expected to do the best things. And in the few cases when they do, it's a thing of surprise.
Yeah.
And I think when you're a child, just imagine, and I remember finding it quite silly, because I'd come from Nigeria and I thought, surely he knows Nigerians are all brilliant, right? But it was a moment where, when I look back now, that's when I started to realize the question isn't really one of, are we different? Because we look different, right? And which I think is a wonderful thing. I love the diversity of the world. I think it's problematic because we ascribe value to those differences. And so I realized that it just wasn't that I had become black. It was that in America, when you're black, it came with many assumptions. And I found it strange. And it was a learning experience.